Next goal is mixed number times an improper fraction. Go ahead and pause the video and write that down. Mixed number times an improper fraction. All right, let's scroll down. We will do these story problems when I come back, but let's just get right to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to see this. This is improper. It really doesn't change how we solve a problem, whether the fraction's proper, improper, or even a whole number, because if it's a whole number, you just add 1 underneath in the denominator. The process is still the same. You're going to take 5 times 3, which is 15. You're going to add the numerator, which is 1, so that gets you to be 16. It's always with the same denominator, which is 3. That 3 just floats right here. You bring down the fraction you're timesing it by. This would be a great way to practice simplifying. For example, I know that 3 goes into both 6 and 3. So I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by 3. You always have to have 1 in the numerator that you're dividing and 1 in the denominator. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. This is going to make this problem much easier. If you want to, you can also say, you know what? I recognize that 4 will go into 16 and 4 will go into 4. So you can simplify it before you multiply. You don't have to, but you can. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So now if you look here, we're really taking 4, which is what 16 divided by 4 simplified to, and 2, which is what 6 divided by 3 simplified to 8. And then 1 times 1 is 1. Now, if you didn't get that answer, maybe you multiplied 16 times 6 over 3 times 4. You would have gotten 12 in the denominator, and 16 times 6, I believe, is 96, and 96 divided by 12 is 8. So eventually you would have gotten there. So you can decide, do you want to multiply first, or do you want to simplify first? If you got this answer, you know how to multiply fractions. If you got these, you know how to simplify. And that's what we're working towards. Why don't you try? Pause the video, you try, and then click play. All right, you have to get mad. You're going to take 2 times 5, which is 10. You're going to add 4, which is the numerator. That's 14 fifths times 10 sevenths. I choose these numbers for a particular reason. For example, I know that 7 goes into 14 and 7. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. That helps tremendously. Now I'll be honest with you. I also see that I could divide 5 and 10 by 5. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, you can. It makes it easier at the end. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then you multiply straight across. When I took 14 divided by 7, it simplified to 2 whole. When I took 10 divided by 5, it simplified to 2 whole. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then this simplifies to 1, which is 4. If you didn't do that, you would have gotten 140 over, I think, 35, which is still 4 whole. So eventually you would have gotten there. All right, this is the last problem of this kind. Go ahead and solve it. All right, let's start here. I'm going to get rid of this mixed number. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So I have 20 over 6. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I see this problem, this 4 over 2, if I were you, 4 over 2 is the same as 2 whole. So it's really 2 over 1. You would get 40 over 6 as a possible answer. If you simplify that, 6 goes into 40 6 times with 4 out of 6 remaining, which is the same as 6 and 2/3. Now, if you didn't see that, you would have gotten an answer like this. 4 over 2 times 20 over 6, which would have been 80 over 12. You still would eventually have gotten to the right answer, like maybe I divide 80 by 2 and 12 by 2, and you would have ended up right here. All right, so let's look back at that. Mixed number times improper fraction. If you feel confident with that, you can start. If not, this is a work in progress. This is a work in progress.